Hi guys, I am back for another illuminating video just to shine more light on the darkness that surrounds us and where we're going in this space and time construct. So, as I've already covered in some of my videos, Saturn rules Aquarius, and we can begin to peer outwardly at our world and see how the Saturnian energy is now growing and becoming more prevalent in every aspect of our society. As we consent to contract with dark forces, we thereby bind ourselves closer to its material plane. And this is something that I've actually pondered, over the contracts that we agreed to honor while we're here. And of course, all things have significance, whether we believe it or not. Every action has a reaction. And it also has binding forces that keep us coming back here. As we consent to agree to terms and conditions, and we want to have some of these apps and some of this accessibility into the dark metaverse of spiritual plane metaverse, which is going to be harnessing our spirit, it's going to have an effect on our future incarnations. This is how deep my processing goes in my mind of how it's all about free will. But that will can also mean that you have other karmic things to pay in the future. But anyway, the purpose of this video is to talk about the Off Grid with Doug and Stacy channel. And he's talking about this company, Palantir, that Trump is promoting, and it's connected to the CIA and connected to all of your data mining. And as you consent to put all of your information out in a public format, it becomes the property of what is called the state. And the state, as it stands today, represents a corporate empire. And this is how they are tricking us all into contracting with them and to give up all of our information and relinquishing that to their control. So it's just important for us to become aware of all of these tactics that the shadow is using, and the dark brotherhood. We can even just call it that, the dark brotherhood, because they worship darkness and their dark lord is Saturn. And they share that one unifying force of belief, is that is their god. But this whole Palantir is pretty serious because it's also connected to WorldCoin, which I don't know if you guys have seen the logo. I've also covered this in one of my videos regarding WorldCoin. So here's one of their logos, and it seems that it's evolving. But as you can see, not only does it look like the symbol for the euro, but it is also, if you were to flip this counterclockwise 90 degrees, you would see the pitchfork of the devil, You would see basically the Piscean, or Poseidon's staff, because all things are connected. And this is just more symbolism for people to look more deeply into. It's also the eye. You can see the outer ring is white, like the eyeball, and then you begin the iris, and then it goes the 3 tiers. Because it would also be, if you made complete circles, it would be the symbol for Atlantis. You see how all things are connected. I mean, symbolism will just really start opening your eyes, and you'll be able to see more deeply. See how the eye itself represents the cosmic design. Saturn is in the middle, but Saturn is also the outermost. When you look at Plato, Ptolemy, Pythagoras, they show you this design, like the iris and the rest of the components in an eyeball, because that is the way the universe is made. You can think of this as a funnel, and it's a tunnel down from the heavenly light realms, because you're descending from way out here where the light actually is, and it's channeling downwards into towards the darkness. And it becomes so dense that the light is compressed in on itself and it becomes what we call a tangible reality. Again, this is fascinating, but you can see it's the same as Atlantis because they built everything based on cosmic designs, and they still are. But we have to gain that clarity through, studying these alchemical signs and symbols and what it truly means to have a spiritual experience in a dense holographic world. WorldCoin also has this as a statue outside of their offices. You will also see this in the cameras that are around because it is the all-seeing eye of darkness. As you can see, it has a huge dark central point and it represents Saturn's influence. The metallic outside represents the artificial nature of it. So this is basically an artificial intelligent eye that's going to be monitoring us. It's no longer going to be just the outside forces of consciousness that's watching us. It's going to be the dark aspect of Saturn that is going to be observing us. So Palantir is this company, and it was actually named after the Palantir ball from Lord of the Rings. This thing could see all things. That's why if you go back into Lord of the Rings and you start watching it after learning some different occult and esoteric ideas, you will begin to see how the Lord of the Rings is actually telling our entire story. It has all the different characters. It has a warrior, it has a wizard, it has the diminished humans, and it has the jester. It has all of the different player characters that are found within the wheel of the zodiac. Here it is again: the warrior, the martyr, the teacher, the builder, the explorer, the actor, the judge, the craftsman, the king, the mother, the jester, the farmer. So all of these aspects are also attributes found within each of us, as we have little samples of each of these signs and symbols. And we also have the planetary aspects that dictate how much of each, and also the planetary energy that is imbibed within each symbol. But this Planeteer eye becomes the eye of Sauron. It's how Sauron gets to see everyone everywhere and how he watches over all beings and all things in his kingdom, because Sauron equates to Saturn, and Saturn rules plain Earth, and all the other planes of energy like Venus and Mars and all that, they're all right here. And you can think of them as auric fields of energy, but you can look outwardly and see nature as the sphere of Venus or the influence of Venus. And they're basically just energetic overlays that are piled on top of each other to create this construct. Well, I do recommend people going and watching this to remain aware of what is actually happening. Trump is the right wing of the same bird that the left wing is attached to, because they represent Yakim and Boaz. They represent the two pillars, the light and the dark. They're also representing the checkerboard floor. Earth is basically represented as the checkerboard floor because there's light and dark actions that govern all the world and its movements. But those governing forces are coming from the celestial heavens. This is their chessboard, and we came to play as them incarnated within each of us. And we can choose darkness or light. So we can choose which side of the chessboard we want to play on. But then as we become more self-aware, we can choose through our free will not to play the game. That is a choice. But the story is being written by the different controllers and rulers out here who have obtained the knowledge of the celestial heavens, which is called the Wheel of Time. It's also known as the Zodiac. It's also found in astrology and astrotheology, which is the greater aspect of the whole thing, which includes more sciences than just astrology. It's so much bigger and has all of the information that we need to know where we end up in space and time, and all that dark force could do, which represents all of these humans out here who have been stifling the knowledge from the rest of the population all they have been doing is making everyone fear this knowledge by labeling it with certain words and terms to instill fear in those minds so they will never look at it because they will be so fearful of even opening up its contents and observing what's there. When in actuality, all it ever is knowledge. And when you have the knowledge, it is like a choice. It's like if you were able to forge a knife out of steel and you had that knowledge to forge that knife, but then your choice of how you choose to use that knife is what you do with that knowledge. And this is how it all works. Darkness can only cast shadows, but the light can shine brightly upon those shadows and illuminate the truth and eliminate the veil of fear and shadows. And that's what I feel my purpose is here, is just to encourage others to look more deeply into some of these hidden aspects of our world. Don't ever fear it, but just go boldly into that dark space and illuminate your consciousness on it and learn from it and hone your skills from it and take what you can to use in a beneficial way for your own life or for the life of others. And then move and give freely of your wisdom that you've found. Even if people don't listen, if you just plant a seed, a word, a term, some image, anything into someone else's mind space, you're now putting a little crack in their consciousness for future comprehension of what it is that you've already found. It's like picking up a stone on your journey of walking. And then as you continue on your journey, you give a stone to the person and you tell a story with it. And the person holds on to the stone knowingly or unknowingly. They put it in their pocket, they forget about it, and they keep walking. And then eventually, when they reach in their pocket, they're like, oh, yeah, this stone. That person told me this story with this stone. And then they remember that. They'll recall that when they come across some other information. And that's how the journey of awakening works. So don't be afraid to share your stones and your stories with others. Fear stops us from growth, and that's where we need to unbind our own mind and step out into the light of truth and into the world without fear of anyone's consciousness and how they judge us. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you are honing your soul to be even greater in the future and the different challenges that you'll face. So your willpower is going to be tested in the future, along with all of your other attributes. And as we hone and polish each of our attributes in each incarnation, it gets compounded and grows into our next corporeal form that our spirit will choose. It's a fascinating journey, guys, and we're all on it. I do encourage you guys to go and see this new video that's posted by Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, so that you can learn about what's happening in the world with this new Palantir. It's not really new. It's been around. They're compiling all of our information. You do not have to consent to contract with anyone, anytime, anywhere. Just know this, because this is your divine right. And to learn the laws that govern creation, you can go into my channel. I've collected different videos in my playlists. You can go on my channel and look at that. I have actually labeled every subject, and you can go in and just find many, many, many different topics, and you will get a wealth of education. Now, since a lot of these are just links that I save continually, you will find that some of these videos have been removed by the content creator or they've been removed by YouTube. I have not been through to weed out all of those that have been removed, but there's still a wealth of knowledge in my playlist. I have so many different topics that you can cover. And anything that you're interested in, I'm sure that you'll find some type of information there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you again on the next one.